Hey, Furious Rick with an informative video. I'm going to talk, about UFC. UFC is back. Jon Jones is back fighting Ciryl Gane. He's going up to the heavyweight division. He's in the heavyweight division now, put on the weight. And people were speculating that he's going to put on massive size, almost like Francis Ngannou in terms of like muscle. But not really. Jones right now is having more of like kind of a dad bod. He's got more mass on him, but not much like, say, muscular definition. And what I'm trying to really say is that, that performance and athletic ability has nothing to do with how you look aesthetically. It doesn't have nothing to do with muscle, really. Yeah, you have muscle underneath your mass, but just because you don't look like a bodybuilder or a muscle person doesn't mean you can't perform well, or that you're not strong, or you don't look physically dominating, because Jones is physically dominating, and MMA fighters are all physically dominating, regardless of really how they look or muscle, right? Muscle is not a determinant of that. So that's what this video is about, because we're in the gym business, fitness. We like bodybuilding, muscles. We grew up loving that, and also sports. But in terms of athletic ability, it still is not much of a determinant, prerequisite. Yes, muscle tissue is important, and the quality and the type of fibers. But to say you need to have bodybuilder-looking muscles on your frame to be to play sports or to be physically dominating, it's not really that. It's not really, the answer's not really that simple. Because we know the Jon Jones skill set is great, and he's a great fighter, physically very for his strength. He's got strength, stamina, endurance, everything. So we can't just look at somebody and determine things, even in the general public. That's one of the misconceptions that MMA really brought to the forefront, that somebody who's bigger, stronger is going to be better. And that's not the case. When bigger muscles sometimes mean getting tired quickly. Bigger the muscle is, the more oxygen it requires, the more flexibility it needs, the more agility. A lot of times lifting weights and big muscles are stiff, not fluid. If you look at all the MMA fighters, the top fighters, they were not muscular men, really. They were in shape, yes. They were in shape. You can say they're fit, but we can't say that they're huge guys, right? Even like GSP, he had a phenomenal physique, muscles everywhere, six pack. But for the average person, he was, yes, muscular, and just what somebody would find as aesthetically pleasing too. So yeah, but his opponent Ciryl Gane is a bit more muscular, and in the stare downs he looked bigger than Jones. So this is a big test for Jones in terms of fighting somebody who's almost his size, almost same reach, height wise. Maybe Ciryl Gane is 1 inch less, but in face to face, it really doesn't look much difference. And so Jones is fighting a big dude this time, a muscular big dude this time. And Jones coming in with a little bit of a dad bod look. We thought he would be coming in like huge, like muscular or something. But maybe it's genetics too, I mean, if Jones was a muscular guy from the start, he would look muscular. But he's more of a lanky kind of guy. But he still has a lot of muscle. I mean, don't get me wrong. He still has a lot of glutes, nice glutes, shape, thickness, wider hips. He's got broad shoulders. But in terms of looking like a bodybuilder, he doesn't look like a bodybuilder, because he's got a really lanky frame. He would have to put on a lot of muscle in order to fill out and look like it, with the muscle insertions that shorter guys have. But at 6'4", you can't really ask for more. And so, yeah, this is just for people that have misconceptions and illusion, because even bodybuilding is illusion, muscles is illusion. So we're gonna find out how Jones stacks up. So Don't kid yourself. Don't misunderstand things. A lot of people that getting into fitness, they really misunderstand things. And one thing that MMA showed us is that big muscles is not a requirement for sports or for physical athletic ability. Back in the days, coaches would refrain their athletes to lift weights because it would make them stiff, and they would get tired. And they didn't want their fighters to get slow. Strength, yes, you can have strength, but strength is not that important in sports. The one rep, one maximum strength is not necessary. What is more required in sports is something called muscular endurance, stamina. That is more important to have. And somebody like Jones has a lot of it. He has incredible stamina of those muscles. Incredible stamina. His muscles never get tired. Constant energy. And that's what's needed, really. Having maximum strength is important too, but you need a bit of both. And so if you're somebody who's an athlete, try to excel in both. Because everybody's requirements is different, everybody's goals is different. But for me, it's very important that you be a strength athlete with good stamina and endurance, so that you can be good at a lot of things outside of the weight room. So we'll see how the dad bod stacks up. Again, muscles are an illusion. Look at the beginning when I was a little kid and was watching UFC. What they showed was a guy like Royce Gracie, a 150-pound guy, could beat up a 220-pound fighter with a skill set, with his jiu-jitsu, and he did. And that a lot of times, a lot of bodybuilders, lifters were tested to see how they would fight against, stack up against somebody who's smaller with the martial arts background. And with the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, a lot of the smaller guys were able to beat the bigger guys, stronger guys who would think that would be bigger, stronger. And that's happened many times in the UFC history. A lot of the guys that were muscular were not the best fighters. If you look at it, let's names like Vitor had many losses, but he was a great fighter. But he did lose. He did lose to other fighters like Randy Couture. When he fought Randy Couture, that was a big eye opener, because Randy had a better game plan and he had better endurance, while Vitor's muscles gave up on him, and it gave up on him when he fought Chuck Liddell and whatnot. And there was another fighter back then, Kevin Rendleman. He was huge, like just looked like he just could go on stage in a bodybuilding competition when he would go into the ring and fight, or octagon. He was another prime example of somebody who was just genetically gifted in terms of muscle. Maybe not for fighting, but definitely in muscle. And who else? Can we name some other guys? There's some other guys there. There was a Brazilian guy. Forgot their name. There was like other this Cuban guy. Yoel Romero. Yes, Yoel Romero is another good example. Very physically gifted. He was nicely muscular. But also he had his heyday, and he won and lost also. Who else can we say? A couple of guys in the lower division who were very muscular. Even amongst the heavyweights, in terms of UFC, there's not too many really muscular dudes. Like, you have guys like Brock Lesnar, and we know about Brock Lesnar, how he'd been, and wasn't much of a technical fighter. He was more of a brawler, but he didn't even like to throw punches or get hit in the face, really. He didn't really have that good fluid punches. He would use his brute strength and wrestling to kind of beat the guys up.